when I first met a bunch of people that were involved on this subject before I even knew Jim, I remember specifically, I was in one place, and there's a big wig I was talking to, and he goes, we don't ever look at that subject. We don't care about that subject. There's absolutely no evidence whatsoever that any of that is even real, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, okay, thanks. And then I left that person's company, or that person's table, and went right outside the door. And there was these other two guys that worked directly under him that said, we want to talk about this. And they talked about it for an hour, and it was like nothing classified. They can't go there, but it was just like, some people are more open to it and some people aren't. But the people that are dealing directly with something that's classified, they're never going to even talk about it. As far as the best and the brightest, I guess that's subjective, because who knows if the Jasons really are or not. I've always heard that they kind of were, but I think that, you have incredible people at the National Academy of Sciences. You have incredible people at the national laboratories. You have incredible people at the Lockheed Martins and the Boeings, and they're everywhere. And I think that it's not exclusive, like we need this one group of scientists or whatever. Who knows if something's been studied for decades and decades, they're going to choose people that are the best and the brightest, that can keep their mouths shut, because it probably has these big national security elements that come with it. And they're going to find people that bring value in ways that they need. It's not just like a blanket, like, you're a great scientist, we're going to bring you in. I mean, as far as I know, and what I've learned, Black programs don't really work that way. But I'll tell you direct experience that in the very beginning, everyone said that to me. And because they don't need to open up a conversation with me. They don't need to talk about it. They're not going to get anything out of it. If anything, they're just going to get in trouble, or make them feel like they need to go back and report a conversation where something slipped or something. So I just don't think that's the right route. But what I will say is, I talked to the former head of the task force before it's in its current form, however that works. And I asked him, I said, what's the biggest change now that we were able to bring the UFO subject out into the mainstream? And he told me, he said, for the first time ever, we can talk about this in the halls of the Pentagon. Up until this point, it was always in a skiff underground somewhere.
I heard similar things from Alex Andietrich, who's a renowned fighter pilot who was involved along with Commander Fravor in the so-called Tic Tac incident. And one very valuable thing that this has elucidated is the breaking down those barriers, the insecurity, the humiliation, the kind of taboo for military pilots who are heroes far beyond what I'm capable of doing, and they volunteer to put their lives on the line. If these are military threats or even weather balloons or whatever, we owe it to our warfighters to make sure that they're safe and secure. So taking away the taboo has been incredibly important for me.